Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a retail CEO, you've probably spent the last couple of years asking a primarily technical question, right? What exactly can AI do? But the conversation in your boardroom needs to pivot, like right now. Today, we're going to see why AI in retail is no longer just a cool technical deployment, but absolutely your most critical organizational design challenge. It's not really about whether machines are going to replace your people. It's about how the very fundamental unit of retail work is shifting under the pressure of these intelligent systems. We're starting with this profound observation from Jacques Ellul because it just perfectly frames the tension that executives are facing right now as automated systems crash into human workflows. For the machine, everything turns on a switch. For man, on a nerve. When we drop AI into the messy, constantly changing environment of retail, we aren't just flipping a switch, We're striking a nerve. We're totally altering the coordination between human judgment and machine efficiency. Okay, let's dive into this with a scenario that probably literally keeps you up at night. Say an AI system drafts a customer response, then a human planner reviews its inventory recommendation, and finally, an automated orchestrator executes the last step. So who gets held accountable if that workflow suddenly costs the company millions of dollars? When AI becomes an active participant in your actual day-to-day work, the biggest question isn't about computing power anymore. It's about outcome ownership. Here is how we're breaking things down today. First, the superteam myth. Second, early proving grounds. Third, the limits of autonomy. And finally, we'll wrap up with the CEO blueprint. All right, part one, the superteam myth. Let's just address the elephant in the boardroom right away. There is a massive contrast between what's being sold to you and what's actually happening on the ground. Vendor hype promises these autonomous, persistent AI superteams that just flawlessly own entire commercial outcomes. But the retail reality? Well, it's way less science fiction. Retailers haven't magically reorganized around fully autonomous bots. Instead, what we're actually seeing is bounded automation and agent-assisted workflows being dropped into existing and, let's be honest, often creaking legacy processes. So the crucial concept to grasp here is what we call bounded autonomy. This means treating AI systems as accountable participants, but within strictly defined roles, crystal clear escalation paths, and really tight feedback loops. It's definitely not about letting an agent run wild. It's about carefully defining the boundaries of what the system can actually do before a human has to step in. This whole concept forces leaders to completely rethink how work gets done. Because if full autonomy is a myth, where exactly is this human-agent collaboration creating real, measurable value in retail today? Moving on to part two, the early proving grounds. Customer service is absolutely the ultimate testbed for this stuff, mainly because the interactions are captured digitally and the quality is super easy to measure. A really widely cited National Bureau of Economic Research study looked at a Fortune 500 software company and found a 14% average productivity jump in customer support. How did they do it? Just by equipping workers with generative AI assistants. It wasn't full automation replacing everyone, it was real-time guidance that helped workers, especially the brand new novice employees, perform like seasoned veterans. In practice, this evolution creates a really clear tiered model. First, AI handles the routine volume and drafts the responses. That's your first slice. Then humans manage the exceptions, the emotional complexity, and those tricky policy edge cases. That's the second slice. Even companies like Klarna, who initially came out boasting about massive AI resolution rates, have had to acknowledge that human service capacity remains absolutely vital for exactly those kinds of complex, nuanced edge cases. And we're seeing a very similar pattern emerging in marketing and content operations. Vendors are pushing these incredible tools for asset creation and writing product descriptions. And yeah, AI accelerates this high-volume repetitive work beautifully. But, and this is a really big but, crucial override authority, legal review, and brand judgment, that all strictly remains in human hands. AI augments the speed, for sure, but humans govern the brand identity. Okay, part three, the limits of autonomy. So, you might be wondering, if these models are so incredibly capable, why not just take the training wheels off and let them run entirely on their own? Well, because the barriers to full autonomy are the exact same risks that keep you awake at night. We've got well-documented technical issues like hallucinations and AI overconfidence. In retail, where your decisions touch consumers directly, a confident but completely wrong AI can lead to massive reputational and brand image. And then there's the human factor, algorithm aversion. Are your merchants actually going to trust an agent's assortment recommendation? Because if your staff doesn't trust the AI, the whole mixed team fails. Furthermore, you actually don't even have a choice in the matter. Frameworks like the NIST AI Risk Management Framework explicitly call for governance, monitoring, and human oversight. When you stack that with warnings from the Federal Trade Commission against deceptive AI claims and the really rigid structures of the EU AI Act, human oversight becomes legally non-negotiable for global retailers. It's just a fundamental design constraint you have to work with. This directly informs your organizational strategy. Look, simply saving time on an isolated task, like doing faster copywriting or speeding up service triage, is really just local optimization. It's nice to have, sure, but it doesn't transform your business. Real operating model change means redesigning your underlying structures, your incentives, and your decision rights. Without doing that, you are literally just speeding up a broken process. So, knowing all these risks, these realities, and the legal constraints, what's the actual concrete action plan for a retail executive? Which brings us to part 4, the CEO blueprint. Your operational mandate as a leader really boils down to 4 critical steps to build dependable, governable, mixed human AI workflows. We're going to quickly break down ownership, decision rights, measurement, and architecture. Step 1 is workflow ownership. Basic application ownership from your IT department just isn't going to cut it anymore. You have to mandate that if a workflow cuts across merchandising, service, and operations, a specific business leader owns that entire mixed workflow, end to end. They need to own the objectives, the guardrails, the performance reviews, and exactly what the escalation pathways are the second that AI hits a wall. Second, you've got to establish crystal clear decision rights. You have to dictate in no uncertain terms exactly what an AI is allowed to merely recommend versus what it's allowed to execute. Low-risk tasks, like maybe drafting internal copy, sure, that can be AI executed. But high-risk decisions, we're talking live price changes, customer remediation, supplier commitments, those absolutely must be strictly human-approved. You need strict delegation thresholds and completely bulletproof audit trails. Third, how you measure success has to fundamentally change. Spoiler alert, traditional KPIs will completely mislead you in a mixed system. If you're only measuring the AI speed, you might completely miss the fact that it's actively damaging customer trust. You need system-level measurement. You have to evaluate the quality, the error rates, the escalation frequency, and the human override rates of the combined human-agent team, viewing them as a single unified unit. And finally, step 4 is data architecture. I know, it's unglamorous, but clean data architecture, event logging, and strict identity controls are absolute prerequisites here. If you've got fragmented data and brittle, messy integrations, you simply cannot deploy reliable agents. Without a really solid foundation grounded in your current enterprise data, autonomous agents in your retail environment are going to be nothing more than show over substance. So I want to leave you with this one vital, provocative question to take back to your executive team as you evaluate your own strategy moving forward. Are you truly redesigning your retail operations for real human-machine collaboration? Or are you simply accelerating your existing confusion by slapping new agents onto already broken workflows? The retailers who win this next era are going to be the ones who master the organization of work, not just the shiny new technology itself. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start looking at redesigning those workflows today.